All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the second Keep It Pro training call for 2025. My name's Meredith, and I am absolutely honored to introduce this call. For those of you who don't already know, this call is brought to you every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific for the past 9 years. Each call is recorded and posted on Romacio Fulcher's YouTube page. Yes, that means there is 9 years worth of calls on that YouTube page full of wisdom. And I guarantee if you go back to that YouTube page and peruse through all the calls, you will find several calls relevant to whatever you're going through in life today. In fact, I personally think it should be mandatory, and I'll let Romacio comment on this later, but I feel like it should be mandatory to go back and listen to the last 2 calls. Those are the last Sunday call of 2024 and the first Sunday call of 2025. Why, you might ask, do I want you to listen to these 2 in particular? The answer is simple. These calls are such strong calls that they lay down the foundation to all the calls to come in the next year from Romacio. But even more than that, it's laying down the foundation of how you can start living your life and getting all of the blessings that God already has in store for you, waiting to be given to you. These calls, Romacio uses scripture to back up everything that he says and explains how important it is to know whose image you were created in, to have strong faith and belief, and your mindset, the right mindset, to be able to receive all of your blessings. So if you would want to go back to those calls, go back to Romacio Fulcher's YouTube page, and you'll find them there. I'm going to introduce your host and creator of this call, Romacio Fulcher. He is a marketplace minister that goes out in the community and loves to serve. He is an international entrepreneur, trainer, coach, and my friend. It's been about 9 years now when God spoke to Romacio and told him to create this call. God wanted him to use his God-given talents that he already possessed, such as his incredible ability to communicate, the amazing way he can connect with any audience out there, and his ability to be able to paint pictures to give messages so clearly that people from all backgrounds can understand. And God wanted to use his talents to be able to share the message of how important it is to have a relationship with God and to learn and apply faith-based principles so that you can achieve success and receive your blessings. Romacio uses all of these principles, but his favorite one is what you do for others, God will do for you. Romacio lives in the land of servitude, and he is here today to do this call. He never asks for money. He doesn't advertise any businesses. He is simply here spending his time giving back to the community the wisdom that he has gained over the years. And having said that, I'd like to go ahead and get out of the way and let him come on this call and get started sharing his wisdom for us. So make sure you have a pen and paper ready and a quiet place so you can collect all of this information and apply it to your life right away. Romacio, are you there?
Absolutely. I am here. I'm fired up and ready to go. Thank you so much, Meredith, for stepping up, as always, setting the tone and being our gracious host. We love you and we appreciate you. I want to welcome each and every single one of you back again for another edition of the Sunday Keep It Pro training call. As you heard Meredith mention, she's accurate, she's correct. We've been doing this for over 9 years, guys. 9 years, can you believe it? We've been here every single Sunday at 4 o'clock Pacific, right here on this same line at this exact same time. Now, if you are brand new to the platform and, maybe a friend or an associate told you to swing on by and check us out, let me just kind of set some expectations for you on what you can expect on being on this platform. We teach two things. Number one, we teach you the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the very top of any business that you are promoting. Did you hear what I just said, guys? We teach you for free the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the top of whatever business you're promoting. If you don't know me, don't worry about it. You'll learn about me in days and weeks to come. One of the things that many people know me for is building gigantic businesses. I've been blessed with the skill that I've spent a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of failures to be able to, I don't want to say I've perfected it, but to be able to constantly improving a particular skill, and that is working with people. And when I talk about people, I'm talking about people from all walks of life, every culture you can imagine, in over 50 countries. I've been blessed to be able to build a business with 750,000 different people a part of that business, and it took me well over a decade to do that. Obviously, I'm proud of it. Obviously, it came with a lot of struggle. It came with a lot of everything, right? But absolutely for free, we will teach you the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the top of any business that you may be a part of. Now, some of you may be saying, well, hold on here. I'm not an entrepreneur. I just work at the local hospital or whatever, or I'm a stay-at-home mom. No big deal. Let me tell you the number one business in the entire world. It's called You Incorporated. Did you write that down? YOU Incorporated. So whether you are a stay-at-home mom or you work a job at Burger King or you have a small business or you have a medium-sized business or you've got a gigantic business, this call is absolutely intended for you. It teaches you the specific skills that you need to not only get to the top, but to keep you on top, okay? And we do that with no strings attached. We don't charge you. We do it absolutely free. And we've been doing it, believe it or not, for 9 years, right here, right now. All of the calls that you guys get a chance to listen to live, they're always recorded. These calls are always uploaded to my YouTube channel. That's Romacio Fulcher, Romacio, last name Fulcher. You can find me right there on YouTube, and man, you could have a great time. You got 9 years of calls that you can go back through and listen Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, absolutely free. I'm telling you, man, it's really cool to actually be an entrepreneur and to be able to plug in to something like this for free. No strings attached. I'm not looking for any more followers. I'm not looking for anything from you except I want you to pay it forward. Let me say that again. I'm not looking for anything from you except for you to take up your space in this world and pay it forward. That's all I want from you. And to drive it in even further, the one and the main principle that we teach is what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. I want to say that again, just in case if you're new with us. What do we mean? The second thing that we teach on Sundays is we teach faith-based principles. So, sometimes you'll dial in and I will or we will be talking about a specific business, specific skill that we'll be training on, to help you get to the top. And then other times, like today, you'll join the call and we'll be talking about a specific principle. Oh man, I like the way that sounds, don't you? So we're either teaching you a specific skill or we're teaching you a specific principle. Oh, I'm getting excited already. If you understand the power of what I just said. No, I'm not a preacher, but just sit back and listen. Okay? When's the last time you hung out with a friend of yours and y'all didn't waste no time? Instead of talking about the girls or the boys and talking about nothing but nonsense, when's the last time you had a constructive conversation and you walked away from that conversation and the man or the woman taught you a specific skill to make your life better? When's the last time you had a constructive conversation and the focal point of the conversation was a specific principle? You see, in my life, guys, I like to look at myself in three phases. I'm either having fun, I'm either learning, or I'm teaching. If we're not doing one of those three, I'm upset. Let me say it again. In my life, I live in three phases. Either I'm having fun right now, either I'm learning right now, or either I'm teaching right now. That's it. I don't have a fourth phase. That's not me. I've got three phases. So you either find me laughing or making other people laugh, you find me learning, or you find me teaching. Other than that, I'm upset. That's it. So what I'm telling you, this is a wonderful platform to be a part of absolutely for free, because what it offers you, teaching you skills to get you to the top and keep you on top, and we're teaching you principles. And yes, I get so passionate, I get so fired up, I get so excited to discuss principles. Principles. The world has got millions and millions and millions of people, and haven't you looked at him? Haven't you looked at her? Haven't you heard about this? Haven't you heard about that? And, we've got all of these goals that we all want to accomplish, and, you're constantly asking yourself, but how do I do it? And how do I get up there? What does it take? And am I doing it right? Did I miss something? What can I do better? You're constantly evaluating yourself, right? But what if today I was to give you 1,000,000% assurance that if you are living a principle-based life, I can guarantee you're doing it right. Oh man, that sounds so good, man. I'm getting so excited about this one here. I think I'm gonna re-listen to the audio myself. That's how excited I'm getting. Again, guys, one more time. I want you to understand the power of principles. I don't want to assume nor take it for granted that you grew up in an environment where your mama, daddy, or however you grew up, where they focused on teaching you principles. I want to explain just for a moment the power of principles before we get into today's theme, because today's theme is going to knock you off your feet. I can tell you that now, okay? So get ready. But the power of principles. You see, anytime you can learn a principle, and if you really want to speed up the success of your life, whether that's in your personal relationships, whether that's in business, whether that's with your family, whether that's with your health, whether that's with philanthropy, no matter what sector or area of life you want to focus on, I would encourage you to focus on principles. For example, if you don't use it, you lose it. We've all heard that before. In other words, if you've got a clean bill of health and you're healthy, if you don't take advantage of it, if you don't invest in it, you're going to lose it. Listen, I love you too, but I'm talking to you. It's not complicated, okay? Listen, it's not complicated. You got fat because of some choices that you made. You aborted the principle. That applies to me. That applies to you. I understand life can be tough, stress. Trust me, you preaching to the choir. I'm not here judging you. What I'm here saying to you, it's not as complicated as you oftentimes make it. All you have to do is follow and stick to the principle. If you learn to work the principles, they always work. It doesn't matter if you're white. It doesn't matter if you're Hawaiian, Filipino, Mongolian, Russian, Yugoslavian. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what faith you are. It doesn't matter if you're an atheist. It doesn't matter. That's why this call purely focuses on not teaching you opinions. We're not here for 9 years teaching you what I think. No, what I think is irrelevant. What we're here discussing and teaching week in and week out is we're teaching you principles. And the main principle when it comes to promotion, and when I talk about promotion, when it comes to receiving, don't you want a promotion in your life? Don't you want to be promoted? Everybody does. When it comes to going to the next level, the main principle that we've been screaming for 9 years, ladies and gentlemen, is what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. It's the principle of servitude. Listen to me. I talk very slow. I talk very clear. And I'm talking about even deaf people can understand me. That's how clear I am. Okay? I want you to get this. Why is this principle, why am I so emphatic? Why am I so aggressive with this principle? Because I know none of us are perfect, neither me nor you. I know you need more money. Even those of you that say, oh, I don't really care about money. Stop lying. There's a reason why money is mentioned. It's one of the most used words in the entire Bible. There's a reason for it. Look it up. It's over like 266 or 226 times. Because God already knew when he created us that we would need currency. We would need money to solve 98% of all of our problems. So don't tell me you don't need more money. You do. Money is a tool, and if you use it right, it can help you live a much better life. Okay? So to have more, we want to focus on the principle, not my opinion, but the principle that will enable you to have more. And it's the principle of servitude. It's the principle of sowing and reaping. As God would say in the Bible, seed time and harvest. Seed time and harvest. Seed time and harvest time. You plant a seed, nurture it, water it, and eventually you reap a harvest. That principle is the number one principle that we focus on Sundays. So every time you hear us say, what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. What we are saying is, when you take the time to plant a seed inside someone else, for example, right now, every Sunday at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I'm planting a seed in you. I'm giving to you. God gave me a gift, and gifts are meant to share. Let me say it again. God gave me a gift, and gifts are meant to share, not to keep. Hello. A gift is meant to share it. So I'm sharing right now with you for free, right? I'm planting a seed. And as I plant this seed into you, and by the way, there's a million different seeds. Money is a seed. Love is a seed. Kindness is a seed. Giving your time to someone is a seed. Forgiveness is a seed. I mean, there's a million different seeds. Million different seeds. The whole point is I'm planting. And the principle is seed time, that means planting, and harvest time. That means reaping or receiving. And what I'm doing, I'm planting right now. I'm constantly planting. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about how you can actually make more money, have more success, have more abundance in your life. How can you make that happen right now? If you start focusing on the principle of servitude. When God created the world, according to John 3:16, it says that God so loved the world that he gave, G-A-V-E, his only begotten son. God planted his son. In other words, he gave his son. Jesus died for all of us, right? So that whosoever shall believeth in him shall not die, but have everlasting life. That's John 3:16. That's what it says. I'm trying to share with you the principle that God was working according to the laws that God created. He planted something, his son. In other words, his son came to die so that he can reap all of us. All of us have a chance now to have everlasting life. In other words, his son paid the debt for all of our sins. That's why God is so merciful, because when God established his laws, he said, listen, Jesus, when you die, that's going to pay the price for all of their future sins. That's going to pay the price for all of their future mistakes. So that's why I can tell you right now, God is very merciful. You've already been forgiven. You've already been selected, set apart, approved, unique. You've already been forgiven. Already. So God planted his son. Right? That's the seed. That was the seed. And you and I, believe it or not, we are his harvest. Listen to me. Write it down. God planted his son as the seed, and you and I, we are his harvest. We are God's harvest. When God looks at me and when he looks at you, he is so proud. He's so excited because he knows what he planted inside of us. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. I can feel it right now. Some of y'all, you're going to need to turn the stove off, put them eggs down, sit down, and pay attention, because I'm promising you, your conversation you've been having today, it's not coming in this hot. It's not coming in this heavy, because we're talking about a principle. We're talking about a principle that if you would learn to work a principle intentionally, I told you guys many times before, sometimes I come on these Sunday calls, I don't feel like doing them. No, I'm telling you the truth. Sometimes I don't. I'd much rather do something else with my family or do something else. Whatever. Sometimes I just being honest. Sometimes I just don't feel like doing the call. But I want you to think of a farmer. Just go with me for a second. A farmer, right? We're talking about a farmer. A farmer sometimes doesn't feel like planting tomato seeds either. But the farmer does want to eat, right? The farmer does have a business to uphold, right? So it has nothing to do with if he feels like planting tomato seeds today. The farmer knows that in the months to come, if he expects to eat tomatoes, it's only as a result of he planted seeds yesterday. So it has nothing to do with what I feel like. It has everything to do, if I work the principle, God said the principle is going to work for me. Now look here. I don't care if I'm too loud for you, if I'm too passionate for you. I'm not trying to be you. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to get you to understand what's stopping you from going to the next level in your business, in your life. What I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you, when this call is over, is to really take a moment, 5 to 10 minutes, and reflect. What principle do I need to concentrate on? I'm going to tell you the number one principle, no matter how you feel, no matter where you're at in your life, no matter whether times are good or bad, the number one principle that you need to be focused on right now to take you to the next level, guaranteed, is servitude. Why do I tell you this? Because God created human beings to serve one another. And he demonstrated this principle by God giving his only begotten son. That's the first thing he did. He gave his only begotten son. So he set the tone. He lived by an example. I love you so much, says God, that I'm going to give up my only begotten perfect child so that you can be free. That's how much I love you. That's what God said. So I'm here to tell you Write this down. Learn how to serve your way to the top. Learn how to serve your way to the top. I know you might be upset. I know you might be confused. I know you got anxiety. I know, you need more clarity. I know. The answer is servitude. Some of you are thinking, but I don't have anything, and I'm nothing, and I don't really know what would I give. I'm here to tell you, every time God did a major miracle in the Bible, he always started with something that they already possessed. My answer to you, to the question of, well, what do I have to give? What do I have? What do I have? Go back and look again in the mirror. You need to understand that there's something that you already have, and oftentimes you've been overlooking it. There's something that you already possess. You already have it. It's already in you, but you keep overlooking it. Let me give you an example with myself. I've always been a very passionate, courageous, persistent, out-of-the-box type of guy. When I was younger, I used to feel so weird because I was so passionate, had so much energy, and so many people would be like, oh, my God, that guy is over the top. He's just got a lot of energy. My own father, my daddy, he said, son, you've got so much energy that the moment you learn how to channel it, whoo, you're going to be dangerous. I mean, I just had a lot of energy. So can you imagine when I'm in my younger years, I feel weird because everybody's saying I got all this energy and I've just got all this passion and, I'm just, my name is Romacio, but everybody call me Romucio or Romeo or, Romello and all this stuff. People can't say my name right, and this guy is weird and he's getting a 2.0. He's not really good in school. I felt out of place. But God never made a mistake. He knew exactly what he put inside of me. So what I'm saying to you, you need to go back and look again. It's going to be hard for you to do a great work in the world when you don't even feel that greatness is within you. Let me say that again. It's going to be hard for you to do a great work in the world if you don't believe that greatness is within you. Look here, man. Look. Don't talk to me about being fat. Don't talk to me about being overweight. I'm overweight right now. I'm 5'9". I ain't got no business being 245 pounds. 245, 248. That's too heavy. Guy my size, this handsome? Oh no. Now look here. I'm talking about me to prove a point to you. Just because, I didn't ate a few extra donuts and, I came up off of my routine. I didn't respect the principle. Stop going to the gym every single day, right? Sometimes you let the stress and you let life get in the way, or what they call a good living or whatever you want to call it. Stop eating, stop being in charge of my diet like I used to be or whatever. Things get away from you. But just because you gain some weight, it doesn't mean you lose your confidence. It doesn't mean all of a sudden, because I look like this and because I don't look so, so great in my suits, or I look this way or I look that way, well, I guess, I don't want to talk to anybody, or I don't want to be out in public, or I think I've lost a step. That's not true. See, that's in your mind. That's why I'm telling you, go back and look in the mirror again. Go look again. Because Meredith told you earlier on the introduction that she's right. The call that we did, the last two calls that we did, they're paramount. If you did not hear the last call of 2024 and the first call of 2025, you're going to be behind on everything that we're going to be teaching this year. And I'm not going to go back and reteach what was already taught. I'm not doing it. Okay? This is the year of harvest. 2025, my harvest finally arrived. I'm talking to you. I'm talking about you. I don't care if you stumble over this recording on YouTube and you live way in China. I don't care. I'm talking specifically to you. 2025, your harvest finally arrived. Now, some of you think I'm crazy because you're going, wait a minute. Well, if my harvest has arrived, I don't see it. Where is it? You need to listen to the last call of 2024 and the first call of 2025 so that you can understand that everything that you're going to receive this year, you've got to see it through your spiritual eye first. Look, I know that that's a very profound statement that I just made. Everything that you're going to receive this year, you've got to see it through your spiritual eye first. And if I had much more time, we would talk about the different things you need to do to be able to strengthen your spiritual eyes. I said your spiritual eyes. We're not talking about the physical eyes that are on your forehead. We're talking about your spiritual eye. But I'm telling you factually, I'm telling you definitively. I'm telling you definitively. I'm telling you definitively. I said it 3 times. 2025, your harvest arrived. Now listen to me, as we're getting into the theme of today's call. I know that makes you feel good to know that your harvest arrived, but I'm going to show you how we're going to take it from feeling good to you actually manifested it this year. You manifested it. And I need you to track with me, to stay on the same frequency as me. And please remember, we've already told you on last week's call, March 31st, that's the last call I'm doing. I'm no longer going to be doing this platform anymore this way as of March 31st. So we've got 3 months, the last 3 months to spend together. So I'm telling you, I'm going to be laying down some of the best stuff that you've ever heard in your life. And I expect you to receive it. And I expect you to apply it. And I expect you to re-listen to it again and again and again. And you better believe it's going to all be sound and principle-based. Now, with that said, let's get back on point. 2025, your harvest arrived. Okay? Some of you are saying, okay, that sounds great, but I don't see it yet. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to teach you the steps on how you manifest. How you manifest the very thing that God has already approved. Let me say it again. How do you manifest your harvest that God already approved it? He's already approved it. He already said it's yours. I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach you Sunday by Sunday by Sunday. So you might want to schedule these calls for the next, until we get to March 31st. 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Sunday. You might want to schedule that hour into your life so that you can learn exactly what you've got to do to be able to manifest your harvest. Let me give it to you like this. Let me paint a picture for you. Go back. I want you to think of a farmer. A farmer planted tomato seeds. I think everyone, I want you to have a visual in your mind of a farmer planting seeds, tomato seeds. Weeks go by, months go by. He waters the seed. He tends to the ground, right? He planted it in good soil. And let's just say, let's fast forward now. There's weeks and months have gone by, and it's harvest season. It's time for him. It's time for the farmer to pluck up his actual tomato. Do you understand that even when it's time for the farmer to receive his tomato harvest, do you not know that the farmer has to get down on his knees and he has to pull it out the ground? Do you know that I'm talking about the farmer has to do some work to receive the intended harvest? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm going to say it again. Do you know that the farmer, the person who planted the seeds, he did everything right in the past. It's time for him to receive his harvest. But in order for him to actually manifest his harvest, he's got to do some work. He's got to get down on the ground, and he's got to pull up the tomatoes. He's got to pull them up. And so what I'm getting ready to teach you right now is that this is, your harvest has arrived. But we've got to get you to see it. Some of y'all can't see it. Some of y'all can't see it. And if you can't see it, guess what? You can't have it. I'm going to say it again, nice and slow. Don't want to go too fast. If you can't see that this is truly your season of harvest, then you can't have it. Oh, let me give you another visual aid. Let's go back and let's look at a woman. She's pregnant. She hooked up with Tyrone. They had sex. Tyrone planted a seed inside of her. Long story short, seed grows, stomach gets bigger, her body gets reconstructed. It's delivery time, right? It's harvest time, right? It's time to pop the baby out. Do you understand that the woman can see, we all can see, her stomach has gotten bigger, right? But in order for that baby to come out, in other words, in order for that harvest to come forth, she's got to do some work. In fact, did you know that in order for that baby to come out, she has to do the most amount of work in the 11th hour to receive the greatest gift? Let me have you write that down. I want to say it again. In order for that baby to come out, she has to do the greatest amount of work in the 11th hour to be able to receive the harvest. Write it down. In order for her harvest to come forth, she has to do the greatest amount of work in the 11th hour. The principle and the point that I'm trying to teach all of you, your harvest is truly here, but you're going to have, first of all, you got to see it. And second of all, you got to work for it. You got to work for it. You got to work for it. And we're going to talk about today the main attribute that you must have in order to receive your harvest now. Number one, we talked about this 2 weeks ago on the last call of 2024. We talked about the wait is over. We talked about that. If you are still in a mindset that you have to wait, this call is not for you. You're not ready yet. I love you, but you're not ready yet. If you are still in a season that you believe that you have to wait. Now, some of you are saying, wait for what? Wait to get better. Wait to receive. Wait to go to the next level. Wait for promotion. Wait for the girl that you've been wanting to get after. Waiting for the man that you want. Waiting. The wait is over. Do you hear me? I'm talking directly to you. Are you at a point where you finally have come to the understanding, I ain't waiting no more? Then if you're not at that point, it's okay. This just ain't your season. But I can tell you right now, 2025, my harvest arrived. Oh, no. I have planted targeted seeds. I have sown and sown and sown. This is my season. It's right now. I can see it. And guess what? I can also feel it. And I can tell you, when I say I can see it, let me explain. See, I want to go back to that example of the female, of the woman. I want to go back to that example. I said, and I know not everybody listening is a woman, but I'm using this illustration intentionally. She's sitting on the gurney, and it's time for the baby to come out. You can see her stomach, is big. Everybody can see it. It's time. It's time. But she has to do the greatest amount of work in the 11th hour. You see, The other 8 months, she just had to carry it, right? And yes, her body was being, reconstructed inside, et cetera, and all those sorts of things. But see, now, when it's time for harvest, she's got to push. And every single push that she does, it hurts. So please help me understand. If it's truly my harvest time, if it's truly time for me to reap what I've sown, if it's truly time for me to receive and my harvest is truly here, why do I have to work right now? Why do I have to push right now? Make it make sense to me. Why do I have to push harder now than I did before? Because, let me tell you why. God set it up this way. I didn't set it up this way. God did. Right before you get to cross into Canaan, I know not all of you understand that language. Don't worry, I'm going to break it down for you. Right before you get to birth the promise, right before you get to have the baby, you've got to slay the giant. Let me say it again. You've got to slay the giant. Right before they could go to the next level, David had to kill Goliath. Right before the children of Israel were able to walk into the promised land as God had promised them, right before Joshua had to come and finish off the job that Moses led them to, right before Joshua had to slay the giant. Now, I know, listen, some of you are listening to me and you're saying, oh, this is a great bedtime story. I beg your pardon? This is your life. You better be happy that I'm able to explain it and narrate it so simple, so easy, with such clarity, so you can understand what time it is for you. Right before it's time for you to pluck up your harvest, you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to do some work. And there's going to be, write this down, here it is, here's the crescendo, here it is. There's going to be a giant that you're going to have to kill. Oh, MG. There's going to be a giant. Let me break it down. Let's talk about relationships. There is something going on in the relationship that's been happening for a long time. You're going to have to kill it. There's somebody you're going to have to cut off. You can't go where you're trying to go until you let go. In the words of my little friend Jay Sean, I remember he looked at his mama and he told his mother, he said, Mama, if you ain't growing, you ain't going. This was a 10-year-old boy. He looked at his mama and said, Mama, if you ain't growing, you ain't going. I'm talking about you going to have to slay a giant. I'm talking to you. Oh, boy, I'm telling you, we're not going to miss. We got 3 months left of these calls. I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to receive your harvest. And this stuff right here, you can't clone me. This stuff right here, this is timeless principles that I'm teaching you right now. That's why I want you to re-listen to these calls. Don't you listen to me for no entertainment. I'm not here to entertain you. No. I have an expected goal that I want from you. I want you to take up your space in this earth. I want you to get what's yours right now. The wait is over. But you're going to have to slay a giant, just like the doctor is standing over the gurney as the woman is laying there pregnant, trying to push out the baby. And what is the doctor telling? What is the doctor telling the woman? Baby girl, you're going to have to push. Now, look here. There's 2 ways we can do this, okay? You can do this push naturally, or we can get you an epidural. Which one you need? Do you need me to numb you from the waist down? How can I help you? But one thing is for sure, baby girl, you are going to have to push. That's what you're going to have to do. I can't do it for you. Oh, no. The epidural just numbs you up. It doesn't do the work for you. Woo! The epidural just numbs you up. It doesn't do the work for you. The doctor can coach you like I'm coaching you right now, but the doctor can't do the work for you. You got to push if you want to see that harvest. You're going to have to dig if you want to see that harvest. That's what you got to do. So as we look at your relationships, for those of you that this is fitting for, you're going to have to slay the giant. That's right. To be able to receive the harvest that's intended for you, something has got to die. Okay, let's go to the business. There you are in business. You know you deserve more. You know it. You know it. You know you've been accepting them crumbs for far too long. You and I both know it. You know that you've been accepting far too little. But we also know you're scared. You're scared. You're scared because you need the money to pay the bills. You need the money to take care of your life. But you're scared. But in order for you to receive your harvest, I'm talking about the harvest that you've been sowing for, the one that you've been preparing and planting seeds for, you're going to have to slay the giant. Oh, don't get mad at me. God set it up this way. God set it up this way. He set it up this way. You're going to have to slay the giant. You're going to have to kill something. Something must die. Woo! Woo! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's time to work. It's time to work. It's time to work. But just let me let you know, it's your harvest time. 2025, your harvest has arrived. But you're going to have to slay a giant before you get to step into it. Just like that woman on the gurney, she had to push and push and push and push and push and push and push, and finally, voila, that beautiful bundle of joy, that brand new baby comes forth. Just like the farmer, he can see the tomatoes have come forth, but now he's got to get down on his knees and he's got to pull it out the ground. He's got to pull it. He's got to do some work in the 11th hour in order to receive it. And so will you, my friends. All right? Now, I need you to write this down because I wish I had more time, but every single one of you, I'm talking to every single person that hears this live and those of you that hear the replay. You are going to have to slay a giant to receive your harvest that has finally arrived here in 2025. Your harvest is right here. I need you to exit this phone, and I need you to write down, what giant do I have to slay? What giant do I have to kill? And the word giant, it's relative to each and every single listener. What giant is in your way? Who is your Goliath that you're going to have to kill? What is your Goliath that you're going to have to kill? See, it may not be a relationship. It could be inside of you. There's something that's got to die in order for you to arrive. That's the way God set it up. Now, let's close out the call. Let's talk about what is the single attribute that you must have in order to be able to receive your harvest here in 2025. You have got to have an attitude of, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do whatever it takes. It's got to be your attitude. Whatever means, even if I'm scared, I'll do it. Even if I'm confused, I'm going to do it. Even if I'm going to cry and I'm going to be hurt, I'll do it. Even if I'm not sure, I'm fully not 100% sure, I'll do it. See, remember we talked about you've got to see it through your spiritual eye? See, when you begin to exercise your spiritual eye, you don't have to make announcements to your friends. All you have to do is talk to God. That's all you got to do. All you got to do, see, God has already said yes. He's already said he wants the best for you in all facets of your life. God has already spoken. So once you have God's consent and God's approval, you do not need to consult with any other man. You do not need any other permission. God, we're talking about God here, has already said yes to that request. Yes to that prayer. Yes. Matter of fact, Bible tells us his answer to your prayers are yes and amen, as long as it's according to his will. Now, if you're trying if your goal or what you've been praying for is you want Samantha's husband to be your husband, no, God ain't approved that. That's not approved. That's nonsense. But we talking about anything else that's actually good for you? Oh, absolutely. All of that. Millions, billions, trillions, whatever you want. God said yes to all that. But just because God said yes, let me remind you, the children of Israel, God fed them when they were in the wilderness. The Bible says God dropped the manna down from heaven. What's that? Manna is food, okay? He dropped the food down from heaven. He did. But when he dropped it down, do you know, the Bible also says they had to stretch for it. Oh, God, I'm getting so excited about this message. They had to stretch for it. In other words, even God himself, he said, listen, I'm going to drop it down for you. Here it is. Here's the food, but you're going to have to stretch for it. I'm talking to you. You're going to have to do something to receive your harvest. Yes, you are. And I'm making it real plain, real simple right now, today, that you are going to have to stretch for it. So the attitude you need to have an attitude of, I'll do whatever it takes. I want to let you know that listen, just because you may be scared or afraid or unsure, that's normal, okay? So let me get you to understand. That's normal. But I'm talking to your spirit. Is your spirit at a place right now as it relates to your harvest? And your harvest is relative to everything you've been praying for, everything you've been seeding for. Is your spirit in a place right now, even though you may not understand, even though it may leave you hurt, even though it may bankrupt you, even though there is fear, you are scared, you're unsure, but is your spirit in a place where your spirit is saying, whether I got to come kicking and screaming, I'll do it. Whether it's going to feel comfortable to me or not, I'll do it. Is your spirit at that point? If it is, congratulations. You're right on time. You're right on time. You're right on time. Woo! You're right on time. Because God loves you so much. See, once your spirit has said, yes, I'll do it, now all you got to do is consult with God and say, God, now what's the best route? What's the best strategy to do this? Do I just cut his head off? Or do I need to be tactful with this one? God, what is the best strategy for me? But my spirit has said yes. Full surrender. Yes, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Now, God, you know I'm going to be kicking and screaming, and I'm going to be leaning on you, and I'm going to need you to help pick me up. But I do believe my harvest is here. I'm operating in complete faith. I know my harvest is here. I'm tired of sitting where I'm at. I'm tired of staying there. I'm tired of accepting less than what I'm capable of. I'm tired. My harvest is truly here. The first attribute that you have to have right now, if you are on the same frequency with us, that 2025, your harvest arrived, you've got to have an attitude right now, I'll do whatever it takes. As long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm going to say it again. As long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, I will do whatever it takes. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm talking to just one person out there, or I'm talking to 100,000 people out there, if that's you and you have that attitude, I want to congratulate you in advance. I congratulate you. If that's not you, I'm praying for you right now that you quickly get in line with what we're teaching right now. Because if you are the type of person that believes I'll believe it when I finally see it, you're going to always miss what we're talking about on these calls. You're going to always miss the point. You're going to miss the mark. What we are talking is a faith-based principle that when you live by faith, you understand that the spiritual side the unseen is more powerful than what is physically seen. When you're living by faith-based principles, you understand that what you can see is an actuality is a reflection of what you cannot see. Let me say it again. What you can physically see is a reflection of what you cannot see. In other words, everything that's been seen, it first starts in the unseen realm first. We're talking the supernatural. Everything that you can see first starts in the unseen realm. That's why on subsequent calls in the future, we're going to be teaching and training you on how to develop your spiritual eyes. We're going to specifically create some trainings between now and March 31st to teach you how to develop your spiritual eyes. But today, I just gave you a condensed version with several examples. I talked about a farmer, and I talked about a lady being pregnant. And I gave you two physical illustrations of the same principle at work. And what was the principle? Quick question. What was the principle? The principle was seed time and harvest, right? Remember, the guy had sex with the woman, planted a seed inside of her. And remember the farmer, he planted a tomato seed. And in both cases, the farmer, he reaped a tomato harvest. And in the case of the young lady, she reaped a new baby, right? What's the principle? Who created the principle? God did. Seed time and harvest, right? But in both cases, the farmer and the young lady, right before they could receive their harvest, two things. Number one, they had to see it. Woo! 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 Number one, they had to see it. They had to see it first. The farmer had to see the tomatoes. The young lady, she knew, according to what science has taught her, it's been 9 months. It's time. I can see my belly wants to pop. So in both cases, they had to see it first. And in both cases, they had to do some work in the 11th hour before they could fully manifest their actual harvest. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to re-listen to this call. I'm telling you, I'm coming in hot, as my son would say. I'm coming in hot. We got 3 months of this, and then we're done. I'm going on to the next level of my life. But I'm leaving you with some of the best stuff I could ever give you. 2025, my harvest has arrived. Now, I want you to say it 3 times. If you're on the same frequency as us, I'm not looking for you to, I don't need a choir. I'm not looking for a choir. I'm not looking to fire you up and pump you up. You got me twisted. I don't care about fire-ups and pump-ups. I care about results. I'm trying to stretch your spiritual eyes right now. You have sown targeted seeds for a greater promise. I'm talking about. But see, you've got to call it in. You've got to speak those things that are not as though they are. That's Bible. You have not because you ask not. That means because you don't open your mouth. You're fully qualified. You're fully qualified. So say it with me 3 times. 2025, my harvest has arrived. 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 And as we end this call, I want you to say this 3 times. I'll do whatever it takes. 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 And let me tell you something. That should scare some of y'all. You should be nervous. You should be crying. You should be, oh, my goodness, oh. There should be a lot of anxiety. Absolutely. Think about it. Think about that. Think about the lady having a baby. You think she got anxiety? Absolutely she does. She got a lot of anxiety right while she's pushing that baby out. Those are the emotions that come with the promise. Those are the emotions that come with the blessing. But I'll do it. Woo! I'm looking for some people right now that's got the spirit of, I'll do it. I'll do it. My harvest is here. I'll do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to go back, re-listen to this call. We're going to upload it to the server within an hour, so it'll be up on the YouTube. Definitely re-listen to it for yourself. And stay tuned, because next week, I'm telling you, this oven here is about to get hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. Why? Because 2025, my harvest has finally arrived. I can see it, I can feel it, and I'll do whatever it takes to birth it, because it's happening right now. See, once it happens in your spirit, it has to show up in your life. Oh, come on. Did you write that one down? Did you get it? Once it happens in your spirit first, it's got to show up in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the California Kid. I love all of you. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next Sunday. Goodbye, everybody.